Hello everyone, my name is Grace. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and on this channel I share sewing tutorials and DIYs. Today we are going to be drafting the pattern of this milkmaid corset dress, and this corset dress has a basque waistline. The cup of this dress was not made with the normal custom made just coming down by 1 inch over there to get my shoulder slope, find the midpoint of that armhole line and draw my armhole curve. So the next thing now is that on this bust point I'm going to come in by about half an inch. I'll take that measurement over there. Then I'm going to be taking my bust plan measurement, which is the nipple to nipple divided by 2. The one I'm working with is 8 inches. That divided by 2 gives us 4. So I'm placing the measurements on both the bust point, the under bust, and the waistline. And I'll go ahead to use my straight ruler to connect those 3 points together. So on these bust points, I'm going to be taking what I have between that point and that point that I just took. I have 3.5 inches, and I'm going to place that 3.5 on that other side. I hope you understand what I did. And I'm going to be using my curved rule to connect that point now to the under bust. So I just connected that to the under bust. I'm going to connect the other side 3.5 inches also to the under bust. So now on each of those lines, I'm going to come up by half an inch on both sides, and on the middle part I'll come up by 2 inches. So I'm going to be using my curved rule now to create the circle of a cup. So I'm just creating like a circle of a cup. Can you see? So the cup is ready. Now on the waistline, I'm going to come out of that line by about half an inch each, and I'll connect it to the under bust as a dart like that. So on that bust point here, I'm just creating like a new hammer curve, because we're not going to be using the upper parts of this pattern actually. So on that bust point, I'm going to be taking my bust circumference measurement divided by 4, and I'll place it there. And I'm also going to add about 2 inch allowance for ease and joining. And on the waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement, replace my darts that I have here, and also add 2 inches. Then I'll connect it together. Now it's time to go ahead and cut. one part of this pattern so that we work with just one part and cut our fabric on fold. You get to understand what I'm saying. So I'm taking off that part and I'm going to be working with this one, and I'm going to be using my paper tape just to cover up that I eliminated so that I can have one piece on this front pattern. Now I'm going to be working on the cup. So I'm going to be using this cup that doesn't have marks on it yet. I measured it. I have about 7 inches, and I'm going to be dividing that into 3. So I'm dividing that into 3, and I'm just going to use my ruler to make that division clear. So I'm going to label it 1 2 3, and I'm going to cut those out. So we're about to use the slash and spread method to make our cup look like what we have on the style we are working on. So I'm going to be taking a fresh pattern paper, and I will arrange my cups on it like this, making sure they align at the upper part and at the lower part. So I'm just pinning them down, and I'm going to be giving them spaces of about 1.5 inches while I arrange it. and subscribe.